Hello. Welcome to Wardens with Hello and welcome to Wardens Midwest. Thank you for joining us. We are now filming live at the Black Couch. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you like the shirt, Brother Mark Narins, the curator of this space and the artist of this space, is selling these shirts. And I think it's dope. I like it. I'm rocking it. You might see me rocking it a lot. And that's his and that's his card. You can follow him at that. I was just making funny faces just to be funny. Starting off with a show, today is going to be an amazing show because today is actually going to be the origin show. So we're going to discuss a lot of what we came from, how we started 5 years ago. The story of Wardens Midwest is actually a fairy tale to Wardens Midwest, and I'm actually going to share that with y'all. So if you bear with me, I most definitely will clue you in on all of that. And I think it'd be great for people to chime in. If you have any questions, please feel free to chime in on the box on the side. There's a lot more to be said than just the main story. There's little side conversations. You guys are probably going to ask little details about some of the characters we're going to bring up. And I think it'd be really awesome to have that interaction. So please feel free to chime in, talk, say something, and we're going to keep spreading the love. We're going to have a few guests. There's going to be a little bit of an audience here as well. Shout out Every Evolve. They're going to be sitting in with us. And I just think it's going to be a great show today. Brother Impact will be joining us soon. We're going to definitely be taking off. But there's a few things I want to address before then. Starting up on the show, there's an event going on next Saturday evening at Subterranean. It's going to be a show sponsored by Every Evolve. If you are available, it's on the 22nd. If you're available, I will be there. And I will be performing not only new music, but a lot of my hits, such as like Hurt Nobody and stuff like that. So if you'd be up for that, please come through. Actually, you should be up for that. If you're not doing anything tonight, you should be there. There's nothing else hotter going on in the city than that. I'm going to be there. I'm the hottest artist in the city. So if anybody wants to argue with that, I am willing to put up my songs with your songs. But I don't think we need to do that. I don't want to make anybody look bad. So what I'm going to do is allow everyone here to get acclimated. We're going to take a little brief break here, a little music break, and we're going to come right back in about 2 minutes. The origin story of Wardens Midwest. Hey, Mark, would you mind turning up the music just a little bit more? I'm just sharing the link right now so everybody can start tuning in. No, turn it up. Yeah.
I'm rapping for the longest cycle. My uncles had to pay the cost. My sister used to sing the
I enjoy some of the old and I enjoy the new, and if I can find a balance between them, I find my satisfaction.
be defunct, but rumors will be debunked. Yeah, this is the music that you gotta feel. Yeah, give you the truth before I got it. You know better than I had it. Ain't nobody ain't no how to feel. Like a panther, you look at my decision. Was it a free lunch? You what we will become? You will be defunct, which rumors will be debunked. Used to be scared of all my fears till I woke up from this nightmare. Now I'm a child, I'm a dreamer first. Now to a bigger serve. The music niggas speakers first. All from my people first. Deep I wanna speak to say I'm preaching like a leader church. No proper opposition, competition gonna need a curse. My job as an artist is making miracles to show you how to struggle poetic and make it lyrical. Crystallize your thoughts and make it clear to you. Make the revolutionary system. Oh, this one's for all the little dreamers and the ones who never gave a fuck. I'm a product of tube and the free lunch. Living room watching old reruns. It will catch your daddy couldn't breathe. Mama always kept the cable on. I'm a product of tube and the free lunch. Living room watching old reruns.
The evolution, where is it all going? Is it coming to an end, or is it just beginning? That was one fellow who built metal quite well at a certain time in history, and I doubt if very few people are able to find these applications again.
Yo, what's up? What is up?
But there are other areas.
Thank y'all so much for tuning in and listening. I really appreciate it. We're going to get started here. So today, just to recap, thank y'all so much for tuning in. We are filming live at the Black Couch Studio and Gallery. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoy the shirt, please hit up this guy. So today is going to be more of an origin story. Last week we had the guest Thrax. He's a dope artist. Shout out Swing PR for having him come through. Greatly appreciated. But today is going to be a story of like a recap, if you will. It's going to be basically about how the Wardens started in radio. And there's also a folk story, if you will. A folk tale, oral tradition is what me and Octosquid, the original host of this show, well, I was on UIC radio, would like to call it. So let's begin with the radio. Let's start back in about 2013. I met this little nerdy kid. I was working at Menards, actually. I was working at Menards. I just graduated school at Ohio University, and I moved straight here as a means to preserve a failing a failing musicianship, a partnership with me and somebody that I'm still great friends with, actually. So I moved here, and fast forward from all that, I ended up working at Menards. And I'm working in the lumberyard area, and this guy walks past me. He walks right by me, and he has these glasses on, and I see his shirt, and he has like some kind of I think he had some kind of insignia or something that made something like reference to electronic music. And I was like, oh, I like that, man. That's dope. Like, that's my favorite genre. And he looked and he was like, what? This is Joaquin Vasquez Duran, by the way. Y'all know him as, he's going to be mad I said his whole name, but y'all know him as Octosquid. He's the other half of the Wardens Midwest music that we create. Some of the good songs like Folktron and Dream Girl, Refresh, all those songs that are great gems that you should go look at. Look up wardensmidwest.com. Matter of fact, I'll type that in for y'all right now so you can see it. Anybody who will want to go see some music. We'll play some of those songs later to help showcase exactly what I'm talking about. But if you enjoy the music, just go to that website right there in the chat. There's a lot of great music on that site. There's a few of my new songs on there as well. But today we're talking about the world. So keep talking to JD. He's sitting there and he's like, you like EDM? I'm like, yeah, man. And then he's like, what do you know about EDM, basically? And I'm like, dude, I just came from Electric Forest this last year and the year prior, which is a huge music festival in the forest in northwestern Michigan. And he was like, oh, you didn't know Electric Forest? It's like, yeah, dude, this is my second year. He's like, okay. So basically, we kind of, in passing, he's like, I got to do some management duties, but I'll be back around in a little bit. I'm like, cool, man. And he's like, we definitely got to chop it up. So we exchanged numbers, have him come over one night, and he sees that me and the person I'm staying with are both really, really talented hip hop artists. So he gives me a beat. Long story short, I ended up moving home and I made a song to this beat, made a whole verse. And by the time I start recording it, release it, it comes out, and I released it on SoundCloud. Remember, this is back in 2013. They used to have this feature called groups. You could submit things to these groups. And when you submit to the groups, people could share it to their following, and the group would share it. And it's like a chain reaction that causes you to go viral. That was almost uncontrollable. If you had good music and you put it in the right setting on SoundCloud at that time, it would just blow up, and there was nothing anybody could do about it. If it was good music, it was good music. So that's what happened. We shared it in the right group. I contacted these two DJs from France, and they ended up really liking the song. And they're like, I'm sharing this in my group. And I was like, oh, I didn't know how it worked. I thought I had to contact people. Fast forward to about a day and a half later, Octo Squid hits me up. He's like, bro, did you pay for promotion? And I'm like, nah, man, what are you talking about? He's like, dude, go check out that song. Go look on SoundCloud right now. I looked, and it had like, it's a few thousand plays. And I was like, whoa, where did that come from? I'm like, I didn't do anything. Like, that's awesome. And then we're sitting there. Another day goes by. Now it's at like 30,000. We were like, whoa, what is going on? Hold on, wait a minute. Like, I don't know what's happening now. So we're watching it, and slowly but surely it keeps going up. He said, dude, what did you do? I was like, bro, all I did was share it in the groups. It's like, what group did you share it in? I'm like, that hip hop swing group that you told me to share it in. And he was like, oh. And I was like, yeah, I contacted the people that run it too, man. They said they liked it and they were going to share. He's like, dude, do you know who they are? And I'm like, no. He's like, it's Bart and Baker, man. They're two of the biggest like EDM hip hop swing DJs in France. And I was like, Paris specifically. And I was like, oh. So shout out to Bart and Baker, because they showed us love just off of love. Just from, hey, this is a good song. Got us, now we're at like 74,000 streams on that song and counting. That is the musical origins of Wardens Midwest in a nutshell. We ended up making a complete CD after that, put it all together. And we've been getting a lot of acclaim from that. There's punk rock groups around the city that ended up playing on that CD that are big, been touring the country now. There are, let me think. There's an artist that was on there. She was amazing, and she was in UIC radio at the time. She was at UIC at the time, and she collaborated with us. So many people have heard that project and saw that it was a cultivation of not just my musical talent and JD's musical talent, but also the cultures we come from and the experiences we come from. And I said all that to say that there's a folk story behind this, and that is also the origin of the radio. So JD was originally, let me backtrack a little bit. JD was actually the original main host of Wardens Midwest Radio. When he saw that we made that song great together and I moved back into the city, he ended up inviting me back on to come on to the show. And he's like, oh, you should come on to the show. I had a good time. It was my first experience being on a professional radio show. I lie. That was one of my first experiences in Chicago, though, on being a professional radio show. And it ended up being much more impactful to me than I thought. It was a good release to the week. I do like working in audio, and that's literally what it was, but it was live. It was something I wasn't used to. So I kept working in that. And I was making sure that it was going to be something that was a good fit. I ended up going on there routinely, ended up becoming a co-host with Octo Squid. We started making this dynamic happen. We got a lot of great guests. There was times we had people like, let me go over some of the highlights. We had Stephen Ponce, which some of you may not know who Stephen Ponce is. Stephen Ponce is actually he's the producer of the main producer on Childish Gambino's album Because of the Internet. Now there's a whole story behind that, but I won't get into that today. So we keep him on. We had a great time with him. We chop it up, found out he was vegetarian, made a couple jokes with him about that. It was like, hey man, I'm vegan. I've been vegan for a while. That was one of the great artists we had on there. Another artist we had on was Glow Gang. Now, some people may not know Glow Gang, but I'm pretty sure you know Chief Keef. Glow Gang is literally all of the artists that are cultivated underneath Chief Keef, that are like a whole group of trap and drill artists that tour the country and are really, really popular in that scene. Like they are the tastemakers of that scene, if you would. If they say it's good, it's good. So, and they're dope artists, and they're really, really respectful people. Shout out Main 4CG and RIP Capo. We'll get into that story sometime too, but not today. And there's so many great artists that ended up coming on, independent artists that we help work out their, their musical, their musicality of their CDs or whatever. They came on singles and we're like, this sounds great, that doesn't sound as good, and we just kept pushing them. We kept pushing them into a space until they felt comfortable and they developed and got to their their apex point, if you will. I really, really, really want to hit home that this is a space of intersecting cultures. I strongly believe in that. I studied sociology as a brief background to what I'm doing, and it can become so much more than that. I truly know it can, and that's why I love giving into this space. For a time I was like, do I want to do this? Should I just focus on doing music? And it's like, this is not only a relief, it's like a meeting of the minds. Soon enough, there will be people coming in here to discuss more along the lines of current events and everything, and that'll be just shortly from now. But I want to fill you guys in on this story until that time. So there is, the radio, like I said, but there's also a folk story behind this as well. So that's the origins of the radio. Thank you so much for listening to that story. I'll be sure to share some of this. And there's going to be a lot of things like ciphers and live events that we used to have on that show as well, that we're going to transition over here and make it even better, because we have more freedom to do so with it. Once again, if you enjoy the space, this is the Black Couch. It's amazing, I know. Like the art behind me. I'm about to wait a little bit. Catch that real quick. The artist is Mark Narins. If you want to check out some of his work, it's right here. And yeah, I'm going to take a brief break. We'll be right back. I'll let the music play. And I'm going to come back. And as I tell you the folk story of Wardens Midwest, I'm going to allow you to hear some of the music as we're discussing it, because it's like a audio folktale. It depends on audio folktale. You know what I mean? It's a musical folktale. There you go. So we need the music to be as a bed to some of what I'm discussing. And I would love for you guys to stay tuned. I will be right back. And don't you go anywhere. Turn up or turn around. He's watching it. We got a few people tuning in. It's like 3 or 4 at the same time for a while. It's so weird to get a link on here, man.
weekend. We party weekend on weekend. All the way to the weekend. We party weekend on weekend. All the way to the weekend. Party weekend on weekend. Party weekend on weekend. All the way to the weekend. Party weekend on weekend. What's your addiction? Is it mommy? Is it girls? Is it weed? Is it Molly? Is it shrooms? Is it speed? Is it K? Is it dabs? Is it deans? Is it pills? Is it L? That's E? Well, I like the party. You like the party. Cause I like the party. Does she like the party? She should bring everybody. Come on.
Can I put on my stuff? My own stuff?
Yeah, I mean, did you want to keep listening to it? Is it okay if I play it while I talk about the folk stuff?
Yeah, sure. Come here. Stop for some reason.
Close your eyes and meditate, just be fresh. Find your center levitating, fresh. Inhale deeply, exhale slowly, fresh. All alone, so come and join me, fresh. In my mind, felt like I was looking at all of the signs, and I decided, was excited. Had me looking at my mind, felt like I was dying.
Susie's leaving. For a minute.
These girls probably lying, they probably hiding, probably never even tried it, they probably hiding. I don't project to the highest, I'm unapplied. Looking at all of the signs, and I decide.
Okay. So, if you were just tuning in, thank you so much for tuning in to Wardens Midwest. We're now going to get into the origins of the folk. There's a folk tale behind Wardens Midwest.
My mind's getting cloudy. I wasn't properly grounded before I left the apartment this evening. I'm hearing dark voices deciding all of my choices. I should probably just focus on my breathing. Inhale, hold well. I see vision exit, then it's via my crown like frogs and princesses. Be careful the energies you obsess with. They can determine the place in which you're destined. Focus on answers, not what if questions. Your mind is a theater with reality projection. Is it martial arts, yoga, or religion? Your preference doesn't matter the method. All that matters the gesture. Just be fresh. Close your eyes and meditate. Just be fresh. Find your center levitating. Fresh. Inhale deeply, exhale slowly. Fresh. All alone, so come and join me. Fresh. Close your eyes and meditate. Just be fresh. Find your center levitating.
Yo. So if you're just tuning in, thank you so much for tuning in to Wardens Midwest. We are streaming live right now at the Black Couch. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today is the day of Origins. We've already discussed the origin of the radio aspect and the live streaming aspect of Wardens Midwest, being that me and Octo Squid, the original host, he's now at Wardens Northwest out in San Francisco. Shout out them. They're now out there now for the origins of the radio. That is more focused on our platform, us allowing ourselves to be open to the community and really giving everyone, no matter what their level of experience is, opportunity to show improve and show and improve as well. The story we're getting into now is more of the folktale, and this is more along the lines of some of the characters of the album that me and Octo Squid created, which is called Folktron. Now, it's called Folktronica. I apologize. It's called Folktronica, and the CD focuses around two main characters. The two main characters are the demon and the robot. These characters are the embodiment of me and Octo Squid for multiple reasons. Now, when we sat down and came up with this, we literally improvised the entire story. We sat and looked at each other and we were like, oh man, there needs to be some aspect of ourselves in this music, not just the song itself. There needs to be characters portrayed that are us, because we are imitating ourselves on stage in the most condensed form we can deliver to an audience. Excuse me. And we are also giving the audience an experience and knowledge all at the same time. And we want them to process this in the same level that we are, like in the fifth dimension, all at once, every sense at once, and you're getting it. You know what I mean? Everything. You can taste the music. That's how powerful it is, So let's go over the two characters. The two original characters are the demon and the robot. The robot is Octo Squid. Now, he said that he embodies the robot because he feels a bit out of place in society. He feels very, very knowledgeable of what he is, very tech savvy, very nerdy, if you would. And robots, to a degree now, I mean, they're coming around, but to a degree, robots are still nerdy. To create robots, you must be a extreme tech nerd. So he feels that part of himself. And that is literally where that character comes from. The ostracized, marginalized, and he feels that way not only because of the tech part of himself, but the cultural part of himself. Octo Squid is I think 90% Mexican, but to the untrained eye, he appears white completely. He looks completely white. If you met him, you'd be like, oh, look at this white dude. He's cool. What up? And he dealt with that a lot in his own culture. So he couldn't use the N-word. He couldn't use slang terms that you would use within the Mexican culture. He can't speak Spanish either. So he is to the untrained eye, like I said, he would be considered maybe Cuban. I know they're fairer skinned, and a lot of them are portrayed and received that way, to be more white and be treated more white. And so he has dealt with some of the privileges of that, but also some of the disadvantages of that because he is Mexican. Now, the demon is me. I felt for a long time in society ostracized, marginalized, and definitely within my own culture as well. I'm not only a well-spoken, articulate African-American, black man, Africana, Moor, whatever you want to say. We can go deep into that as well some other time. But I'm also just always the black sheep, always. And I felt like that cultivated, you know what I mean? That gave more and more. The black sheep of this, the black sheep of your family. The family is a black sheep, but you're the black sheep of that too. You're the black sheep of the music community, the black sheep of hip hop, black sheep, all these things. It's like, oh, well, you're well-spoken and you're into this and you play a little guitar, so you're that. All these boxes that I was just never thought about, oh, I'm this, and this as an artist. Speaking separately, me and Mr. Narens get along so well because in our art forms, we reach out to everything that influences us. We don't limit to just certain cultures or certain experiences. It's always, everything comes together at that moment. That's why there are songs that you will hear that are punk sometimes for me in Wardens Midwest, sometimes more folky, sometimes more electronic, sometimes more hip hop. It just depends on how that message comes across and how it came to be personified in that moment. Now, going more into the folktale of this, the demon is a human being who has long since lost his sense of self by trying to appeal to different demographics, appeal to different levels of love, and lost himself in that by being corrupted and manipulated too much. So his soul became so corrupted that he became a demon. Now, within becoming a demon, he didn't even fit in hell. Devil wouldn't accept him. Other demons looked down on him. And he said, man, the only thing I ever wanted to do, the only thing that ever felt true to me was actually helping humanity, actually reaching out and giving them that little spark of hope or showing them the directions they can go in to really better themselves as a species, not just as an individual, as a culture, like to push the planet and have it as, you know, a melting pot of love and to encourage that for generations. I see it. I see exactly how to do it. And even though I'm corrupt, I know exactly how they can still do it. And so he left hell and he sought out the perfect opportunities for him to showcase exactly what he was talking about. The love that exists amongst humans and how they can use it to transcend. Now let's go over to where the robot is. The robot is a character, as I explained to you, also marginalized. But the robot was created by human beings. And once he reached quantum singularity, for those of you that don't know that, quantum singularity is when AI understands itself and becomes self-aware and is able to learn on the fly. So he didn't do that separately. A whole not species, but a whole community of robots became self-aware, and they decided to separate themselves from humans. Now, instead of taking the normal route of the Skynet Terminator route and destroying everything, they were like, you know, they're over here. That's actually us doing more than what we need to do. How about we maximize ourselves and be separate? Now, as they're doing that, there's a robot that's self-aware, and it's like, what if we help humans become self-aware to the point where they're creating on the same level as us? Isn't that what the total purpose of existing is to exist at your highest level? And he felt that need, like, my gods are lost. My gods are lost. I can help them. If I show them that they are, the way that they connect our circuits, they are different different spark plugs in one engine. And if they all ignited together, this engine could run so much smoother. Let me go over and help them. So he separates from the robot island that he's on to go pursue helping humanity. Do the same thing that the demon is. And as they're doing this, the demon's like crawling out of the caves or the trenches of hell. He's moving beyond where he was at. He's like, I gotta find a human. And he's sitting there after coming out of hell, obviously a little exhausted, looking through the woods. And he doesn't realize that he's hearing this melody. He's like, I hear something. And he walks over, moves the bristle and the brush out of the way, and sees a robot sitting and playing music. And that is where our story begins. Our story begins with both the demon and the robot meeting each other in a musical sense, and they fully embrace each other because they realize that the story they're being told through meeting each other is actually what they need to give to people. They don't have to go and say, hey man, you guys can work and do this, and no. It's too much to say, too much to do. Like, you're coming down on me, you sound way too intelligent, you know what you're talking about, get the hell out of my face, robot, right? Demon, your souls are really important. They must merge. You don't know what you're talking about. You lost your soul. You gave your soul away. Your soul is corrupt. You don't know what you're talking about. But through this music, everything can be felt, heard, and experienced. And because of that, they become such great friends. And then they make it into a musical art of sorts. folktronica, and they give it to people, and they receive it, and the story speaks for itself. Now, I will play that song again. So, as I discuss this story, I'm going to continue to play you guys some music. There are a lot of great artists.
There's people that don't. Are we cooking here?
I'm going to play some stuff over here real quick.
Huh? So, hey, bro,
I'm gonna play some stuff over here.
Shit? I like the benchmark. Cool.
Don't show them.
No.
It's on.
This thing's even coming through. Come on, man.
So as you're listening to this track, this is exactly where the demon and the robot meet each other. They're hanging out in the woods. The demon is crawling out of the trenches of hell. The robot is leaving the island of AI that have reached quantum singularity. Shout out Brother Impact, he's in the building now. He is a newer character that we will get into much later.
We might let them vote in on Sasquatch. God, might as well be Sasquatch the way I'm looking today.
So we're going to, this is exactly when the demon and the robot meet each other.
Alien out real quick.
This is where the demon and the robot meet each other. And they are basically, the robot has his musical art together already, right? And he literally is sitting there playing, and the demon is like, "This is what I'm seeking. I was looking for a musical bed like this." And the demon has a very strong vocal talent, so you'll hear some of the songs we're going to go through here in the future. That this is like literally his musical art, and they both take different pieces of it, put it together, and become a cohesive, like, if you would, a fighting style, but not against anything in particular that's like a physical threat. It's more of a social threat. And to break down social barriers, you need culture. So the culture that they create is folktronica, and they give it to the people to help embody them with the spirit of transcendence. And as you hear right here, you hear the demon and the robot harmonizing. And they did this when they initially met, and they're like, this is what we need. It's like, and they already knew why they were meeting each other. There was no discussion. They were like, you're here for the same reason. I hear what you're singing about. So they're like, let's go give this to the people. And we will see in some of the future songs that are going to be coming up right after this one, there's more of an aspect of understanding oneself and gaining that. And they're going to basically go over the whole general folktale of the entire story.
What's your addiction? Is it money? Is it girls? Is it weed? Is it Molly? Is it shrooms?
Oh yeah, if you like the shirt, make sure you check it out. I like the shirt. I'm rocking it all the time now. This is Brother Mark Nairns right here. We'll get back into the folktale just momentarily, because I've already told the story of the first song. Now in this song is titled Refresh. And what this song is basically about is the demon and the robot are sitting together. And after they played that song, they realized they let a lot of bad energy from that song. It's about strong drug habits. It was about really, partying weekend to weekend, but also working through a week as well. Work week, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, get off, have to still look at your passion and being able to transcend that. And so that, to get that energy off, they decided to refresh. And refresh is literally just meditation. And meditation comes in many forms: prayer, yoga, massage, even. And it also comes in the form of creating. It also comes in the form of meditation, just sitting with oneself, reflecting, deep breathing, and it also comes in the form of that. So refresh is literally that in a sense. So as you hear them right now, these are all the voices, all the noise, as someone said earlier, all the noise monsters. This is what that is. These are all the noise monsters in your head. And as you go through it, the song suggests this. It's the song says, my mind's getting cloudy. I wasn't properly grounded before I left the apartment this evening. I'm hearing dark voices deciding all of my choices. I should probably just focus on my breathing. Inhale, oh well. I see there's an exit. Bet it's via my crown like frogs and princesses. Be careful the energies you obsess with, because they can determine the place in which you're destined. Focus on answers, not what if questions. Your mind is a theater with reality projections. Is it martial arts, yoga, or religion your preference? Doesn't matter the method. All that matters the gesture. Just refresh. And that's what they're literally going through. They're talking to each other. The robot is helping the demon because the robot can process. Even though he can be overloaded, he can go through and that's not important. Remove. The demon is more connected to humanity in the sense that he is still an evolved spirit from humanity, even if he is corrupted. So what he's doing is learning from the robot, like, oh, these things are important to what we need to get accomplished. So he's going through, in meditative style, breathing and letting these things release from himself. And all the while getting stronger and stronger and mastering the musical art they've came up with, folktronica.
Bigger beast.
I wish I could. There's no extension cord that can get that over here, is there? The aux cord, yeah, because I would want it to be played off of that, but I don't want to keep getting up back and forth or trying to tell you exactly how to play it. Okay. Yeah.
You gotta sit that up. That's a weird angle.
What you mean?
I mean, it makes you look taller, but it makes me look wider.
Okay, and now we're moving into the next track. This one is called "There Is No Bear," and I love the story behind this track
Burr.
because this is during the period. So it's right after Refresh. The artist is, I mean, not the artist. The demon is still having issues, right? He's like, I got it. I think he's like, you obtained it, but you don't have control over it, so you need to still master your mind. And he's the robot is talking to him about this. He's like, there is no bear. He's like, what are you talking about? He's like, there is no bear. It's like, what do you mean? He's like, let me tell you a story. So in this story, there's a trout swimming upstream, as they do, and one of them goes up, falls on the bank, and he's sitting there. And as he sees everyone else hopping, all the other trout going upstream about their way, a few other ones get stranded on the side. He's sitting there looking like, I'm dying. I can't breathe. I can't hop back in. I'm struggling to get over there. And as he's worried about what is actually an issue in his life, he begins to see a bear come around from one of the trees. And he's like, oh God, there's a bear now. What am I going to do? Not only am I running out of air, not only do I got to get back to upstream to continue my line of life, you know what I mean, my legacy. I can't even do that because there's a bear about to come and eat me. But there is no bear. He allowed all of the other issues to create something else from that energy. And once he got that story, once the demon understood that story, he said, oh, I've been creating my own monsters. And once he realized that he could create his own monsters, the demon also realized he can create his own angels. And so he summoned to himself the power of love. And as they're walking through, they've now transitioned from the forest into walking into the city. And as they see around them different walks of life, and they begin to fall in love with the idea of love.
I don't mean to ask. Maybe I shouldn't.
No, it's cool, man. You're newer to the so this is
so this is a demon that's trying to be a flip flop.
What do you mean? No.
Oh.
So the origin of the demon is the fact that he was so corrupted by society. He's a black sheep. It's a person that is a black sheep that slowly evolved into a demon from being separate from society so much and resenting it so much. Like, all I want to do is help, but I can't because nothing is allowing me to. Fighting, tangling with himself, corrupted his spirit because he couldn't allow himself to truly be himself. So his soul was corrupted and became a
So his
demon.
environment made him a born demon.
Yes. And then when he went to hell, he didn't fit in hell. He's like, why don't I fit in hell? It's like, well, all I ever wanted was this from my soul. And it tortured him so much that he resented hell, left hell to go do what his spirit asked him to do.
I didn't know you had a choice in hell.
You create your own hell.
That's the point, though. Like, if we
own
believe
hell.
we can transcend and,
You can create. If you can go, you can make your own hell.
then
If you can, then you can transcend yourself. You can make.
No,
your
I'm
own
saying,
hell.
but then any being could, you know what I'm saying, with consciousness could aim for that.
Most definitely.
It's just our egos thinking we're the only ones.
Yeah, I'd agree. And in this song, you see the robot is also falling in love with
The right one.
exactly. He's being the right one for somebody and something. He finds his cybernetic beauty, I guess, if you want to put it that way. And the demon finds his angel, like I said. And they're in the midst of falling in love and going through these changes, and they're understanding the power of love and how to incorporate that into their music as well.
Robot
they knew what to give
bestiality.
One summarizing word: robot bestiality.
I give it to you for keeping, you know what I'm saying, keeping up with your stories after my interruptions.
No, man, because this is like I was saying earlier, this is an oral tradition. Me and Octo Squid actually came up with this like all in one sitting. We were sitting there listening to the album and discussing like there are aspects of ourselves that we want to put in this, not just with it's me and Octo Squid. Cool. Like, yeah, but it's like there's a story behind this. And the story is Folktronica. It's like, what is Folktronica? Is Folktronica just in a rural area? Is it just in the city? Is it just is it just like, oh, this album is us going through our normal days and lives and we're marginalized and this is what it is? Like, no, it's such like a
so you're basically
story.
controlling the narrative for
Yes. This is a controlled narrative, but in our eyes, it's real. We've created this universe somewhere. It's happening right now. A robot and a demon are pairing together with their musical talents to help humanity transcend. It's happening.
I got this alien messing with me. So, like,
And we're going to bring him up sometime soon because there's actually a few songs that transition into a different era of this folktale, if you would, because it doesn't stop. So enjoy the song.
Turn up or turn around. You started this, right? Like track 3.
Oh, if you enjoy the shirt, once again, make sure to check out Brother Nairn's right here.
I like that poster you had the last time. Wow. There we go. I have to mirror that.
They'll probably be able to see it better in the weekend. It's always got that reflective, that backwards thing going on. Now, with a little bit of that love-making confidence that we all get, us guys that we get after, being in love and making love and doing love, we get a little bit of, you get a sense of yourself now, right? You're like, she likes me for this. This is who I am, and you understand it. Now, this song, Can't Nobody, comes out of that as well. It's the chorus goes, can't nobody do it like I do it. If they could, then they would do it. Since they can't, then let me prove it to you. And it's this self-actualization, this realization that they both come to, like, now we can do it. Like, I know who I am as a person now. Sorry, as a demon and as a robot. I really, though I had the urge and the passion to go do this for humans, I didn't fully understand what I was going to be providing. I didn't even know it was going to be, he didn't even know it was going to be music before they both, or they didn't know it was going to be music before they both interacted. They both interacted, went through these changes, and through understanding, I can actually do this. Like, this is my purpose. I'm here because no one else can do this at all.
It's like when Earl Simmons started taking out his tongue and shit. It's like,
I don't even know what that means.
Kiss.
Yeah. You know what I mean? There it is. So it's like, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to have the support of my love. And in doing so, I will most definitely be able to accomplish my goals, which is, in their case, is helping humanity. So they understand their past, and in the lyrics you can hear that it's like been poor since I was young. It's like they go back to their past and grab onto these things and have them to propel them forward. Like, this isn't really. It's like, this is like, why is it this way? It's like, that's just how it is. It's like, no, we need to upset the status quo. We need to challenge systems in society. We need to change these ways, like, because they don't have to be set. We are beings that can evolve. We are not set and stuck in ways in which we just, we have to do a routine like a robot, right? It's like, I'm a robot, and I've even transcended that. Like, we can show them how to do that.
Yeah, robots work both ways.
And in this song, you can hear more of the guitar being played as well, which is that's more of the robot. The demon is more the vocalist. So whenever you hear deep tones or higher pitches, even unless it sounds animatronic, it's most definitely the demon expressing those parts of himself.
Obviously, the synth is the robot.
Oh yeah, any synthesis or any synthesized instruments or any electronic instruments are from the demon. Are from the robot, and most acoustic and live sounding instruments are from the demon, aside from the guitar.
Oh, one of my personal favorites is coming up. Sound is when I met you, I started hearing this sound, and I was like,
Most Def.
just that yelling out, and you do that well. Like, yeah, you just know when to yell out. I don't mean to disrespect shit. It don't matter what it is, but you put that message out real fast with it, just like.
I appreciate it. So that literally is this song is like we were saying. Their style of music is like a musical art, a martial art, if you would, and they literally use it to help people. And this time they feel betrayed because one of them, their loves have betrayed them at this point. And they're like, "Who taught you how to do this? Like how to like disassemble what my whole art is?" And like speaking of martial arts, like it's like the master walking in to like fight somebody, and like the main villain just like knows all his moves already. He's like blocking them, right? And he's like, "Oh, my neck! How did you? Who taught you my kung fu?" Oh, you know what I mean? And like as he's passing out, you're like, "Damn, this dude is you know what I mean? Like he's in a space where he's been manipulated."
Women are better attackers.
There it is. They know how to dissect you. So it's like it's partially that. So in the overlying sense, it's a love song, and that's what it is in the love song form.
Yeah, because a fight's not just overpowering, and a woman understands that more than anybody.
It's using your mind too, and that's definitely what this is about. It's like not like I said, not the physical fighting art form. It's like literally the dissecting art form of like
so we'll chase somebody uphill.
Know how to argue and be completely dissected in an argument, and it's like losing in that argument. I gotta shout out my mom on this song real quick too, because my mom straight up was like, "This song's about me," and I'm like, "Mom, no, it's not. I know what I wrote the song about, like 20 times in a row too."
But she's not wrong,
and she wasn't wrong. And she's like, "Yes, it is about me. I taught you your kung fu," and I was like, "Oh!"
Legit. She was like,
"How'd she do that?" I looked at her. Like, "How did you do that? How did you? Wait a minute." So, shout out moms. That was what's up. She had me cracking up that time. I tried to make a post about it. I'm glad I put it in this show real quick because she needed a shout out for that. Because she literally told me like, "No, this song's about me." And I was like, "Why?" She's like, "Look, I always party all the time. I go out and have fun. Like, I just want to have a good time." I'm like, "Oh my god, oh, so many angles." She was so ready for that argument. Right there, perfect example of it. She was ready for that argument. I was not. Walked in and got dissected. But definitely like Brother Impact was saying, this is more of the singing out. You hear the demon like, "Who taught you?" Like, you know what I mean? Like literally in a angry stance, but defeated still, just like disorientated, almost knocked out, like looking like
I just like this harmony. I get the whole man like, you just you know when to put that out there, and your voice carries out really well.
Appreciate that.
You gotta hear this man hitting some damn Frank Ocean notes. Yeah,
that's the one. That's
people struggle. He's over here like that Walmart kid just singing.
Like the Walmart. Not like the Walmart kid. Not like the Walmart.
What I mean is just like naturally just singing this. You know that kid? He's on the edge of the natural range.
Yeah, it is. You're right. Was definitely hitting the yodel one time. Now,
with the title, put a yodel on some folk trying to come in.
Probably, maybe I will. Might post Malone a little bit, but you know I can do the yodel. I got the fast vibrato at the end of the song too.
Could you emphasize on Post Malone a little bit?
Post Malone. Oh, the fast like the vibrato.
Okay,
the fast vibrato. He does it at the like kind of through the whole word he sings. I do it at the end of the word when I sing it. Most people can't like it's kind of sometimes even fast enough that I don't even realize I'm doing it.
And my actual favorite on this album.
This one is called Folktron, and this
one it's not. I saw somebody. I saw. Oh, I'm gonna put it out. Lucy. I saw Lucy, so I was like, "Oh, Lucy." That's my favorite track.
Yeah, this song is called Folktron, "Oh Lucy," and
this is Lucy. Is this Lucy?
Yeah.
Okay, my bad. Favorite song. Let me correct myself.
Yeah, this is Folktron, "Oh Lucy," and this is actually
the catchy shit you ever heard.
So this is the song of after they've been defeated, they're like, oh, our Kung Fu got defeated. We need to figure out a more like a stronger musical art. We can't be defeated in our argument to present to humans. We got to give this to them in a way that's really digestible and for them to understand it and receive it. So they seek out another master of the musical arts. And
Also,
they find-
real quick, you could just smoke a Newport to this too. Just, oh, Lucy, you need to calm down. There's so many fucking ways you can put this. I'm sorry. I know you're going with your storyline, but really listen to this song.
There's truth, yeah, and there's actually truth in what he's saying. There's actually 3 parts to Lucy, and I'm gonna get into that right after I get through the little thing. So as they're traveling, they find out Folktron.
Stop.
Right? They find Folktron, and they're like, "Oh snap! He's a master of musical arts, but he's not using it for this. If we learn his art and fuse it with ours, it makes it even stronger." So they go and they learn his musical art, and they infuse it into their own. And here are the results.
You can't get embarrassed.
And this is Impact was saying there are 3 aspects to actually what Lucy is. Lucy is the cigarette, like he was saying, Lucy.
Lou, you can smoke a Newport to this. Legit, just ride and unwind. Oh, Lucy.
And it's also LSD. Because they also saw at this time those 3 aspects control so much to reality. Control so many aspects of life. It's like, oh, I'm sorry, I said that wrong.
Lil Uzi.
It wasn't LSD. It was Lucy, the ape that they truly believe we all evolved from. They evolved from the ape that they say we evolved from in the origins of society, of human civilization, which many of us will challenge. But in the aspect of this folktale, that's what I'm using as an origin story. So they understand those 3 different aspects.
Life, sex, death, LSD. Sorry.
Who that?
No.
Oh,
That's the whole point.
oh, I didn't see that.
And then, of course, enjoy that.
Now, if you can see it, like the whole dance is just going. You just see like this. Look, it's right there. That's it, right?
That's Lucy right there.
I'm gonna illustrate your project.
Please do. I told you. Look, I've been telling him for so long. He was like, "Oh, they're crumping it. It's like crumping in the woods." And I'm like, "Bro, that's folktronica. That's like literally what folktronica is crumping in the woods to EDM music and hip hop fuse like dubstep craziness." And we truly do appreciate y'all tuning in. Thank y'all so much. We are right now in the Black Couch. If you enjoy the space, please hit up Brother Mark Nairns. We are now going over the origins of Wardens Midwest, and right now we're going over the folktale. Earlier we went over the radio origins and how we transitioned from UIC to now we're at the Black Couch. Some of the origin stories of how me and the original host of Wardens Midwest actually met each other. And
I seen him.
I seen him. We met at Nards. Funny story. Go back earlier to watch that. Yeah, that's a very funny story.
You better like explain it and give us the funny.
Oh no, I already did.
Because that's like the guy is like, yeah, it's pretty exciting. We're gonna go Home Depot, probably Bed Bath and Beyond. I don't know if we have time.
And now we get into the demon and the robot. Shout out Brother W.Ill. He's a transcendent warden, just his sister Can, the Queen Warden. And we will get into them both in much more detail. And we will get into them in much more detail as we wrap up the story of Folktron and kind of give you the new characters that we're going to be presenting here in the future. So this song is The Demon and the Robot, like I said. And this is literally is when they've already learned the musical art. They've mastered the musical art now. And this is what they produce.
So who mastered this track?
Yo.
Proof. That's the proof.
The demon mastered the track. Time you do your wins come in 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s. I rise like yeast, yet we're never getting booze. Only time we do is when we ask for blue moons. Orange baby, please shake it up. Some say fuck their life, but I'm making love. Which means I only go slow and go deep. Unfair to be compared to me. Apparently, I follow my flow, follow the soul and souls. Insults don't work. Please place your breath. Because some people don't understand me. Probably want pop music. My front stage is my backstage. This is like watching Michael Jackson moonwalk for the first time. Yeah, so they finally embody themselves. They get that, that confidence. They're like, nah, this is who I am. This is where I'm from. This is what it is. And they have it. And now they've made it and are delivering it. And they're watching people kind of rise up out of it like, yeah, this is what it needs to be. Like, who are these two? Like, I think they're giving us what we already have. And they're literally learning from them. And now listen to the demon sing.
You think that
Harmonize with that.
during all the
harmonize with the robot.
allegations of the child molestation for Michael Jackson, he was just beating it? No. It's not too soon, first of all, and I'm sorry.
But like the story was disproved though.
No, I get it. I said during the accusations, because of all the tension, you don't want to be around women because they're looking at you like, you play with little boys. Like, just beat it.
Right. Heaven got a ghetto, homie. I'm excited. Life is short out here. We're just young and wild. And when I looked up, swear I seen my grandma smiling. Gram still pimping while we all just flying. Pray for me, getting paid slowly, nigga.
You guys are the last motherfuckers chop and screw something.
Yeah.
Wait, I can say motherfucker, right?
And yeah.
Motherfucker.
It's our
Woo, this feels great.
You have no idea.
Yeah,
I know I naturally talk and don't curse. I'm around kids a lot nowadays.
I
When it
do
comes
not.
out, it comes out.
I have kids.
Shut the fuck up. He's like, I'm around kids. Yeah, but
You got your fucking bottle.
not to the baby though. He's like, stop fucking crying.
Oh yeah, not to the baby, of course.
He be having me cracking up, man. He's like, look, what are you doing?
And it's because my girls do it. Man, we don't have time for this, but girls are a wonderful, beautiful thing that know their power early.
And this song's called The Hate Song. And now they keep going. And now from that experience they've had of the heart broke, getting a heartbreak, they're able to transcend it and give that to people who have also had the same experience. So now as this crowd begins
pass on the heartbreak. That's what we need.
Not passing on the heartbreak, but helping them transcend it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
I get
literally
you.
helping
Heal
them.
it.
Yeah, it's like this song literally goes over being, we're in a period now where women now have power. So, and I don't want this to come off the wrong way because me and Octo
Women always had power.
Exactly. Women
no, you can't.
But now me and Octo basically were like, okay, so we are in a period where women are gaining more power. There's more women empowerment. They outnumber us already, but now they're gaining more political power. Education is more widely available. Women aren't being suppressed in that way politically, and sometimes financially they are. But in a sense in which they can exercise power, me and Octo have been in situations multiple times where we have been used. So in this song, we saw it as the demon and the robot expressing that and letting it go and saying that we're now coming more and more so on equal ground where it's like, there's not only just dudes being like, oh yeah, we had sex, get the hell out. There's women like, why are you still here? You know what I mean? And that serious was like,
on the side note, Trump did win on the whole lawyer thing over Stormy Daniels. And weird thing is everybody's like, he won. And I'm like, no, he still paid her. Like, he's
still, you know what I mean? Like, and it's like, look, the power is real. You know what I mean? They got to acknowledge it for what it is. Now, she should not have been out like that and, disrespect like that by any means whatsoever. However, there is more power to be gained.
How do you intimidate Stormy Daniels anyway? She's been in gangbangs like Eric. No, gotta
can't
give it both sides.
Can't intimidate
them
like it's like I'll hurt you. Like I've said, I've held my own in front of many a man. You're nothing to me, right?
Don't try to pull the gladiator line. I am not your husband. You will not enjoy this. I done been through that like twice this week. You were not a president. Hurry the fuck up.
Right? It's like, yeah, you're not a president. Hurry the fuck up. Yeah, so you get to the point where you're get to the point where they're expressing this, and they've come to, you know, gather a large crowd. Now everyone's listening. It's like, wow, they can not only help people transcend the loss of death, which was illustrated in The Demon and the Robot. What's up, Gorilla? Shout out Gorilla for tuning in, showing love.
I'm wondering how long ago that was, because I've been zoning out
a little bit, but I'm still show the love right now anyway. I really do appreciate everybody who has tuned in. Once again, we're in the Black Couch studio and gallery. Thank you so much for tuning in. We got one more aspect of this folktale to go through. And as I said, as the crowd is gathering around the Demon and the Robot, who are now having, you know, just singing in the open and getting people to come around them and feel that rejoicefulness that you would feel in a gospel church.
the kumbaya.
The kumbaya.
Just simplified
circle.
around the campfire.
The campfire. There you go. That's a better scene anyway. The campfire kumbaya. What's it going? The campfire kumbaya is going on, and people are walking up like, wait,
hippies,
right? People are blowing one. People were, you know, probably people putting tabs on the tongue. You know what I mean? Cracking open some brews or whatever. You know, I know if you guys watch Futurama, you know Bender likes to drink, so you know the robot still gets down with that, son. And as they summarize all this, they get to this song called "World's Waiting," and it's like, now that they've mastered this, they've finally gotten everything cultivated. They got everybody together, and they're like, the world's waiting for this. Let's give it to them, you know? And now they're giving people the experience they need to help transcend.
It's got a Kanye workout that pace.
I like that. Yeah, that's how it feels too. It's like definitely. So what I would say is,
tummy time.
Yep, you got that Notorious B.I.G. type lyricism, which like kind of like follows along the I see some ladies tonight that should be having my baby, like some no violence basically, right? No violence. I see some ladies tonight that should be having my baby. Truth. And if you listen in and you hear, they're collaborating more so now. Like,
he did say you got a gun up in your waist, please don't shoot.
Right? If you got a gun up in your waist, please don't shoot up the place, because I see some ladies tonight that should be having my baby.
But the content got thrown in there, the visual of a gun. Sorry. Overanalyzed.
And it's like now they brought the sun out from all the stormy clouds. You see clouds parting, rain clearing up.
The sun was there. People just didn't enjoy it. That's what it is. It's like the sun's always there. It's like most days. Like today, it wasn't the most wonderful day, but we had really cold days. And today, the sun, you felt the sun. And as soon as you enjoy it, like you realize that it don't matter what's going on in your life. Like it's still gonna be a beautiful day. Like whether you're with it or not, it's up to you.
True. So as you hear it, you hear our catchphrase in there too, that turn up or turn around. There's a whole story behind that, and I actually may wait till Octosquid comes to visit.
But it's very graphic if you really think about it, because it could mean turn around and walk away, but everybody right away thinks turn around and get fucked. Like if you don't like it, turn up or turn around.
And as you see it, the one thing that they do have, there is the duality. So the robot is the more like, oh, I'm gonna do it. We're gonna do it this way. The demon is the one that's like, sometimes shit needs to get done. Like, and there is no way of walking it or tiptoeing around it. Like, it needs to get done. Sometimes you got a black eye to make a black eye pie. What? I don't know what's trying to go with that. But I think I get what I'm saying.
The alien might seem like it's on some weird shit. Very accurate.
And as you hear this, it's like turn up or turn around. It's like now you hear the demon more coming into it. It's like sometimes we got to unify and be together. Real shit that gets you arrested. Please tell Dr. Houston that I will be absent. Don't tell Dr. Weston I'm tired of protesting. It's time we send all those in power a message. Like Pac said, when all of the good ones in question are dead or in jail, then the ones you are left with is killer anarchist extremists with weapons. So you must see why we're confused with your methods. And this is as you hear the crowd kind of celebrating and gathering behind them and yelling this. Cause you need it. It's like kind of like a war chant.
So when you perform this, do you try to like get people to sing along to it?
Yeah, usually they sing along to the sun shining part, like because it's really an easy part for people to grasp right there. I know that there's a lot of in this part of like separate yourself from the mission. It's like your emotions are going to get involved, but realize that the mission is more important than your emotions. The mission of unifying everyone is more important than how you feel about how someone treats you. Don't let the noise monsters in, as Brother Mark Maron says.
And above everything, there is no sex in the champagne room.
Not even once.
That's law.
I went in there one time and some dude was trying to. He just disappeared for no reason. I was like, what the? Oh, man, that's crazy. So, hope you enjoyed that folktale story. As we said, there are more stories to be told, and I would love to tell it to you in this way. Now, we previewed a track in the post. What I'm going to do is actually play that song for y'all right now because it's an amazing track. And the song is called Content. And this isn't the very first time that the alien comes along, but as they transition from Folktronica and they see that there is outer issue with the world, as they said, there's like, oh, there's all these heartbreaks and different levels of understanding with on the outside of oneself. Oh, understanding your purpose and your art and how you use that art to help people transcend their own situations.
And then sometimes also, you're on your path and you think of going out of your path. You wonder what's on the other side and if it's really as bad as they say. Trust your own intuition and stay on what you feel, you need to be at. It's easy to fall off of that. But, yeah, be content for what you do have because chances are you're still here because you have a lot. We got Tertiary out there DJing. Talk about DJing. We gave a shout out to Gorilla, one of the rawest pure DJs we got out here right now. And by that I mean no need for all that. Put some good tracks on. Shout out to Lord Haiti.
Yeah, shout out Lord Haiti. And shout out Ring Music, the German record label that found the artist that is we sampled for this song, or Lord Haiti sampled for this song. That's gonna be doing some great things with them here soon.
Germany. What's the reason?
I should be content. So why do I lament? And it ain't even you, it's really myself I present. Not typical of him to be like all the other men. And if it's just a phase, why ain't I growing out of then? Looking back past tense, we in the age of spin. A black girl couldn't keep this one together, here a men. Over, backwards, forwards, every way I tried to bend. You know what hurt me bad because she left me after Prince. But first she hit me with, I gotta get some air. It came back, bawling out her eyes full of tears. He grabbed me by the hand and said, I think that this should end. And that's about a week before our 3-year end.
Lately, my curiosities have got me thinking about the other side of things. I should be grateful. So my curiosities have got me thinking about the other side of things. I'm such an a-hole. I'm an a-hole on my way home. But you stay though. What's the reason?
I should be content. So why do I lament? And it ain't even you, it's really myself I present. Not typical of him to be like all the other men. And if it's just a phase, why ain't I growing out of then? All the women running in and out of my DMs, or the videos they send me in my Facebook messages. If I ever did wrong, it's not cause nothing that you said. It was often hard to read you, you're so passive aggressive. Is it really hard to believe that I'm polyamorous? I just wish you never pretended like you accepted it. And if you think it's bad when relations end from this, find love when people think your preferences don't exist. God.
Lately, my curiosities have got me thinking about the other side of things. I should be grateful. Still, my curiosities have got me thinking about the other side of things. I'm such a a-hole. I'm an a-hole on my way home. But you stay though. What's the reason?
I should be content, so why do I lament? And it ain't even you, it's really myself I present. Not typical of him to be like all the other men. And if it's just a phase, why ain't I growing out of thin? You know what sucks when you start to lose your friends, and everyone is closer than the one from previous. That's when forming relationships can seem tedious, and cutting off emotions can seem the easiest. And when you feel like that, it's time to plant the seed of red. I don't want bad emotions, remove the negative, and grow an orchard of love to give positive.
You are who you are, ain't no need to pretend.
So
Lately, my curiosities have got me thinking about the other side of things. I should be grateful. Still, my curiosities have got me thinking about the other side of things. I'm such a a-hole.
So yeah, that about wraps up the show. That is the origins of Wardens Midwest in a nutshell. Like we said, there are more characters coming along the way. You can see coming very, very soon, the alien. And there's somebody waiting in the wings even further than that. We won't even reveal that one yet. It's because that character has not been fully developed. But the alien is going to be the newest addition to Soultronica. Soultronica is the inner universe. So before they explore the outer realms of the world and try to, unite all the human beings, they realize that they must do some soul searching within themselves to get themselves to that higher level. They've mastered their art, but they have not transcended yet. So until they transcend, they know that they cannot show or expect someone else to do it. So they're going within themselves to learn to do that. And when they go there, they find an alien. Now, most would expect them to find it out in the stratosphere and the stars, but once you think about subatomic level and understand that at that small of a level, where we are to the subatomic level, might as well be the distance of tens of thousands of stars. So if you go within yourself and seek that, you can find so many things. And I'll just leave it there. So stay tuned. Thank y'all so much for tuning in.
Wait. We're doing freestyle outside of this?
Most def. But they're not getting it. You're not going to see it here. Sorry. You got to go to Wardens Midwest. We're actually going to be posting last week's freestyle with Thrax very, very soon. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be in our IGTV. So tune in there, look it up, research it. Wardens Midwest at IG. Look us up here on YouTube for more live streams. We'll be here every Wednesday, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. And yeah, man, thank y'all so much for tuning in today. Really appreciate y'all support. So a lot of people tuning in left and right. So I appreciate all the love and support that we got from that. Once again, we're streaming live from the Black Couch Studio and Gallery. Shout out to all of the the people that are going to be. Oh, before I leave, there's a show going on next Saturday, and next week's guest is actually going to be Ever Evolve. We're going to be showcasing them. They're going to be discussing this new show they got coming up for Christmas. It's going to be on December 22nd, and there's a large roster of artists. Illy Muse is going to be there. Our previously transcended Sister Ken is going to be there. Brother Mark Narens of the Black Couch is going to be there painting live, so you'll want to see him. If you like the art that you're seeing behind us and that we showcased earlier, you'll definitely want to get in contact with him because he will definitely have something for you there.
And it's a freestyle, unlike a lot of you rappers.
Most definitely. Improv. He has an idea and he just comes up with some dope art similar to what we do at the end of this show. So once again, thank y'all so much for tuning in, man. Once again, this is Wardens Midwest. Impact from the Black Couch. Terry Tertiary. Turn up or turn around.